Set Phasers, a highly illogical Star Trek podcast.
Well, hello, my good friend.
Hello, my good friend. And how be you?
I be well. How be you?
I be great. I be also well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's early in the morning for me. And by early in the morning, I mean the last hour of technical morning.
Why did we pick such an early slot?
Oh, I gotta just get the things out of the way. Did that make sense?
Perfect. Clear.
Okay. Yeah, it's a busy day. It's a busy Sunday here in Brooklyn. And I gotta get around and do things. Gotta start my car. Gotta then put gas in it. Then unput gas in it. I mean, drive it. And life is great. What else can I say? Top billing.
Top billing.
Yeah. And how have you been?
I've been well. I saw Brandy Carlisle last night at Madison Square Garden.
Yes, and Brittany Howard.
And Brittany Howard and Celise.
And Celise was there. That's wonderful.
And Celise, yes, popped on stage for a little bit. It was delightful.
That's great.
Absolutely delightful. And got home rather late. So this is an early morning for me as well.
How incroyable. We're on
Yes, we are on top form.
We're top form. We're peak even. We're both tired. And it's air quotes early. And we have a great episode of Star Trek to talk about. And
we are up early for you, dear listener. This is all about you.
Yes, dear listener. This is Set Phasers, a highly illogical Star Trek podcast. You thought I forgot the name of the show, didn't you? Ha ha ha. No. I have notes to make sure I don't forget things. Today's star date is stardate 3391023.1. And we're talking about Lower Decks, Season 3, Episode 9. Entitled Trusted Sources. But before we get into the episode, got to do a little, I'm assuming, interrogative based talking about Patreon.
If I weren't too tired, I think I could do this better. Are you missing Star Trek nerds in your life?
Wow.
Are you missing role-play games with delightfully nerdy people who often wear bow ties? Are you missing Star Trek cocktails in your life? Are you missing perhaps a Heaven of Nine cocktail?
Ooh.
Well, you can find all that and more at patreon.com/setphasers, where your dear friends Archie and Stevie will take you through their wondrous, joyous family of Star Trek friends and embrace you into their culture. Join us for more at patreon.com/setphasers.
Wow. Have you considered doing meditation voiceover? That was pretty good. Picture yourself on a sunny beach. The sand is beneath your feet. That was very relaxing for me.
Thank you. I did want to do a satirical meditation for, I think, when Trump became president. It was only for me and friends.
Yeah. Well, for 4 years, all meditation was satirical in those days.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I actually thought that would be quite a fun podcast to do, actually, would be sort of satirical meditations.
I like that. That's like a good, you could do that almost like the daily, but you could do it every week. Just like a minute of satirical relaxation.
Just chill yourself out from the ridiculousness that has happened in the last week.
Right. Do not think about the fact that Xi Jinping has amassed more power than we have seen since Mao Zedong ruled the Chinese Republic. Is that how it would work?
I think so. Maybe that's a little dark. I think there needs to be a little comedy in there.
Oh, was that not funny?
Well, I don't know. I don't know who the Was it funny?
No. It was just what I read in the news this morning.
It
Basically a headline. It was basically the New York Times.
I mean, like, don't, I don't know. The elections are upcoming, and don't you fret that an orange Cheeto might be back in power in 2 years.
Okay, see, that's
Something like
funnier.
that.
That's funnier. Still alarming, but still funny.
Alarming, but little funny.
Yeah, I think my sense of humor might be off kilter. All right, well, let's run it down, shall we?
Let's do that.
It's time to run it down. Can you run it down for me? What just happened? Can you run it down for me? For me?
Oh,
Yeah, it's early. Let's see. Yes, I'd love to run it down. I can't sing for another hour and a half at least. So this is episode 9. It's called Trusted Sources. Basically, what we find out at the beginning of the episode is that Captain Freeman's planetary follow-up / swing by missions initiative is getting started, and the Cerritos is going to be the first ship to go and do one of these swing by missions. This is the whole plan that Freeman had, which is like, we do first contact as Starfleet, and then we say, hey, great, so good to see you, we're out here, just so you know, and then we never come back. So now this is an initiative that Freeman has been championing, and Cerritos is headed to the planet Ornara, which Picard first made contact 17 years prior. And I don't know what people remember of Ornara, but basically it was a planet. There were like 2 planets in the system, and one planet had a plague, and then there was this plant that the sister planet had, but they had addicted the people on the plague planet to the drug, and then Picard had cut off the people from the drug to free them up, and that's basically where they left it with first contact. So Cerritos is going back. Admiral Buenamigo is very happy about this. He's saying if it goes well, this could become the new initiative for all the California class ships. And the only catch is, or no, not a catch, a wonderful thing, he says, is that they're going to send an FNN news reporter to cover the proceedings, because this is going to be such a wonderful triumph. So Captain Freeman immediately freaks out because the ship is the Cerritos. It's insane there. It's madness. So she has her senior staff say, get everything cleaned up. Do not let anything happen. As she's discussing this with Ransom, they see Mariner. And this is, Captain Freeman is like, we got to get this ship clean. It's got to be spotless. Mariner's walking by with blueberry pudding all over her uniform. Apparently, there's going to be a pie eating contest. And Ransom basically is like, hey, Mariner, you might want to make yourself scarce right now. This is not going to go great. And Freeman, then talking to Ransom, says, we got to make some duty changes. Basically, is going to put the lower deckers we know and love on sort of like an off-duty shift while this journalist is on the ship. So Captain Freeman greets the journalist, Victoria something or other. I didn't write down her name. I'm tired. And she's giving her a tour of the ship. And as they go through lower decks, Mariner interposes herself and says, hey, I'll give you a tour of the lower decks if you want to. And the journalist is from Flagstaff, incidentally. And the Captain Freeman's like, yeah, maybe you guys should go to sleep, and kind of moves the journalist on. As the lower deckers are moving around with their free time, they find out that the pie eating contest has been canceled because this is part of Captain Freeman's, trying to keep the ship looking cool. They are distraught. The most distraught of all, perhaps, is Rutherford, who the weird officer who's then literally throwing out the pie because there will be no pie eating contest. Rutherford says, please give me some pie, and the guy says, I can't. And Rutherford's like, then stun me. Mariner, meanwhile, is like, we got to do something about this, but you know what, why don't we go to the bar and just drink and just hang out? But the bar is closed because the bar has become the air quotes commander's lounge, and it's where the journalist is doing interviews of all the senior staff. And as Mariner sees through the door, some ensigns who, I guess there are people on the list, and Mariner and the lower deckers are not on the list. This very much upsets Mariner, and Victoria is doing her crew interviews. It's very talking head journalist thing. So anyway, they beam down to the planet. They meet the local magistrate Benir. Their concern was that, hey, these Ornarans were cut off from their Felicium plant 17 years ago, and they had to do it cold turkey, and maybe they've relapsed and things have gone completely insane. And so now Starfleet is back to check on them and help them through this troubled process. But when they get there, they find out that the people of this planet, Ornara, have kicked. They had a rough time, but now they are more interested in eating healthy and exercising as a people. You could say they're addicted to that now. And so they do not need Starfleet's help at all. And they say, you know, you can go. We don't need you. So this is not great for Captain Freeman. And the journalist is sort of like, this is a bit of a dud. Freeman calls Buenamigo. He's like, hey, check on their government, make sure they're not being ruled by kids or a supercomputer. And Freeman's like, that's not the case. The entire program could be completely, could go, I don't know what the word, I'm like 86th, pear-shaped, all the euphemisms for not dropping an F-bomb. If this is not a good thing, if this is like Starfleet doesn't have to do something. And then Buenamigo comes up with a great idea. Why don't you go check on the other planet, Brekka, the ones who used to supply the drugs? They're probably in a state of complete disarray. And so Freeman basically says, like, yeah, okay, as according to plan, we will now go check on the other planet. And they go back to the ship. Mariner, who's very heated about the fact that she's been cut off, finds the journalist Victoria in a hallway and steps inside of a room with her to give her some the inside scoop on the Cerritos, so we assume. Ransom sees this interaction go down from before. Then Victoria enters to interview the captain, and as they are sitting and talking, Freeman realizes that the tea has been spilled on the number of things that have gone absolutely awry in the Cerritos, including the engineer, the chief engineer being turned into a doll, and Ransom turning into a big head, and all the crazy stuff that's gone down. And believes it was Mariner who spilled the tea. And so when Mariner goes to see the captain, everyone is frowning, and she walks into the ready room of Captain Freeman, and Freeman is very upset. She says, you betrayed us. You couldn't do anything. Mariner's like, I didn't do anything. And Freeman's like, oh, yeah, well, you're no longer part of my crew. I'm sending you to... Is this a dun-dun-dun moment? I'm sending you to... Should I say it?
I thought the cue you were giving me was to do it afterwards.
Oh, I wasn't sure either. I honestly don't know how to do this. You'd think we'd have a plan. Should I say it? Let's try one more time. Let's go from the top. Freeman says, there we go. So she says, you're no longer part of my crew. I don't know if I can even call you my daughter. I'm sending you to Starbase 80. You're right. That's the best way to do it. That's pretty good. And even Ransom at that point, who's, his whole arc of this season has been that he's the one who's like, Mariner, if you screw things up, I'm the one kicking you out of Starfleet or whatever. He's like, whoa, Captain, what are you doing? You don't want to send anybody to Starbase 80. But it is done. And as Mariner is moving through the ship after this meeting, she realizes she may have alienated the crew, who are blaming her for having spilt the tea on the Cerritos crew, including Jennifer. Who says, you made us all look bad, and gives Mariner back the candle that she gave her to Jennifer. And then Captain Freeman, over the ship's comms, says that no one should talk to Mariner. She's no longer part of the crew. Mariner goes down to the lower decks. She sees her lower decker friends, but she's like, you know what? This always happens. Don't worry about me. Let's not say goodbye. Let's not say anything. I'm out of here. Pax leaves. Meets some Starbase 80 folks. They are two idiots. That's all I wrote. Their vessel is dirty, and they leave. The Cerritos continues on to Brekka. The away team beams down to the planet. Miglimo, the ship's counselor, is given the con and immediately decides to call his grandmother so she can see her little boy in the captain's seat. They go to Brekka. The planet seems abandoned, but yet something is not right. They split up to see what's going on. Ransom finds a woman who says, you've got to go. That classic, the cliche, someone hiding behind a thing. You got to get out of here. Save yourself. And he says, wait, why? And then that person is immediately dematerialized by a beam and is killed by Breen soldiers. And that's when they see that the city is crawling with Breen soldiers. And yes, it looks like Brekka has been completely overrun by the Breen. They manage to emergency beam out. They get on the ship, but then they're being attacked by Breen ships, and the shields fail, and they're hit with the torpedo. There's damage on all the decks. The Breen are preparing to board. It looks like it's really the end for the Cerritos crew. And then a Starfleet ship comes out of warp. A new kind of ship, one we've never seen before. Hell, oh, except I was on Instagram and I kept seeing photos of this all week. The ship takes out all the Breen. It's really cool, fast, cool ships. Kind of got like Voyager slash. I don't know what would you call the look of that ship? Kind of like a Voyager, more compact. Not quite the Enterprise look. They hail the vessel and find out that there are no life signs aboard. And then Bueno Amigo comes in and he says, let me introduce you to the new Texas class ships, which excites the journalist Victoria because she's from Arizona. Whatever. It's the USS Alito, fully automated. No one on the ship. It's being declassified as of now. And that becomes what the reporter is obsessed about. And that is what happens with this swing by mission thing. Anyway, we get to see Victoria's report. It's a hit piece on the whole crew. It's everything that was the tea being spilled, but it turns out it wasn't Mariner who spilled the tea. It was the rest of the crew being complete jackasses in the commander's lounge and spilling the tea on themselves. It was Mariner was the only one who spoke glowingly and praisefully of the crew. And everyone realizes things were not as they seemed, as Captain Freeman tries to call Starbase 80 to maybe undo the damage she has done to her daughter's career and the relationship she has. She finds out that Mariner has resigned her commission to Starfleet and has gone off somewhere else. And we find that Beckett Mariner has signed on with, you guessed it. I didn't write down her name. I meant to look it up. The Independent. Do you know her name?
No, I forgot. I can
It's
find
like,
it very quickly.
While you're looking that up, people may remember a few episodes ago there was the like weird thing on the outside of a museum on a planet that was like space show me your job day, where Mariner had to be in a booth and they were next to this independent archaeologist who was sort of teasing them for being Starfleet. And it was a whole thing. But then at the end, that independent archaeologist reaches out to Mariner and says, hey, you got the real stuff. And if you ever want to leave Starfleet like I did and be an independent archaeologist and kind of fly your own flag, you call me and we can do that. And that's basically what we see Beckett Mariner here on the penultimate episode of season 3 of Star Trek Lower Decks. Were you able to Google that while I was talking?
Space pirate Aberdeen.
Oh yes, Aberdeen. Oh, they're calling her a space pirate.
Yeah,
I guess an independent archaeologist could also be construed as a sort of pirate.
Yes,
she's after like artifacts, but it's kind of like a pirate with a heart of gold. Because didn't she steal like the thing from that means the Grand Nagus' staff and bring it back to the Ferengi or something like that? Who knows? Some sort of
I don't recall how. I'm not sure. Yeah. I thought her ethics were as questionable as that of Vosh, if you remember Vosh.
She does have a Vosh. Yes, who could forget Vosh?
Petra Aberdeen. It does sound like something out of Hunger Games, doesn't it?
Yes, very much. The Mockingjay, Petra Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Is Vosh's name Vosh, or is that Picard's accent?
Vosh. No, I think it is.
Her name Vash.
Vosh. I think it's Vosh.
Like bath.
Prolonged R.
Oh, law.
I don't think the Americans say, hey, Vash. It's Vosh.
Sounds very American to me. Hey, Vash. I'm from Idaho. Oh, we're all ready, but we should chat about that.
Let's do.
I say, darling, let's do a quick chat about that.
Yes, let's do. Hey there, Vosh. Yeah, that works too. Like Haas. What up? Hey there, Vosh.
Hey, Haas.
Hey, sure. Haas. Hey, Vosh. I don't know. I think we both agree. We sort of saw at some point this was what the season was going to come to: was Mariner being dismissed or resigning in a huff and joining Petra Aberdeen in solo adventures about the universe. But I wonder what the next episode is going to be.
Well, if she's not a lower decker anymore, then How do we continue with Lower Decks? Indeed.
But there's got to be some huge climactic ending, right? Like Cerritos under fire, Mariner
she's
gets
going to
double
come back and
crossed.
save everyone. Well, I think maybe it comes back to they get promoted, because that's sort of where it's all leading. And I feel like Mariner is someone who's cried wolf for 3 seasons and is, she's trying hard, I suppose, this time, but she's just never been believed because of her previous behavior.
Right. Also, we know that Tendi wants to be a captain.
Yep.
We know Boimler wants to be, come on. And Rutherford probably just wants to be a chief engineer, Marine, I guess. He has no aspirations for anything beyond that. Although, what was Geordi's position? Was he chief engineer?
Yeah.
Because
Chief O'Brien, I think he was chief transporter.
Well, because O'Brien didn't sit in on senior staff meetings, but Geordi was always there.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like sometimes he was there.
Only if it was like
involving a transporter.
Yeah, if it involved the transporter or EPS conduits. Well, interesting. Yes, they're all sort of becoming senior staff, and also that the last episode they were all pretending to be senior staff on that in Rance Boimler's.
How do you go from? I just wonder, because there's got to be somewhere between like Lower Decks and senior staff, right? There's got to be some sort of middle, because you've got your lieutenants, right?
Yeah, Harry Kimtrack, right?
Yeah. There is a Harry Kimtrack.
He was an ensign for 7 years.
True.
Lost in space. Well, no, he got a promotion at the end.
Just wondering how many cabins they have available.
Well, they were fighting over that one room with Delta Squad.
Yeah, Delta Shift.
Delta Shift
Squad. Either way.
Yeah, I think it's Shift. You're right.
Yeah.
No, I think they could move. They could still be lower decks, just not the lowest deck.
Okay. They were the former lower deckers, and it's I don't
know. Listen,
I think we've come to love these characters too much that if we promote them and get new lower deckers, I think that would lose it.
Oh no, we got to follow the track of these folks.
We have to follow these guys.
That's the whole thing. I think, this is where it's season 3. The show is very popular. They have to decide whether or not they want to go the Simpsons route of they never age and never move forward in their lives, and they're always just lower decking, which is very contrary to Starfleet. Or if they, we watch them move up to the ranks. Could be lower decks.
I'm seeming to move forward with this, and it does not with Simpsons.
Yeah, there's like arcs, long seasons over multiple seasons, arcs. So I wonder what the next episode will be. Who knows? Any other thoughts? Oh, Easter eggs?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Set Phasers News. We go immediately to the Easter egg desk with Stevie Man. Stevie, how are you today?
Well, hi there, Aki. How you doing? That was a bit too much, wasn't it?
What are you on location?
Yeah. Hi there, Aki. How you doing? I'm here
in space. Yeah.
I'm up here in space at the lower decks desk, reporting live from FNN.
Very good.
I don't know how that's going to translate to audio now. I've already done my sound effects. Anyway, well, Aki, as you know, there were a number of Easter eggs there, some callbacks to previous Trek episodes. So clearly, the whole premise of this was that they were going to the Ornaran's world. And this is from a TNG episode, Symbiosis, where Picard and the Enterprise arrive to find the Ornarans addicted to a chemical produced from a plant that only grows on the nearby planet of Bereka. The Brekians have taken over control of the Ornarans. Obviously, they're addicted and they're dependent on the drug, which I think, obviously, all of these things were at the time very reflective of what was going on in popular culture. Yes. And then, so what happened was the Prime Directive prevented Picard from getting involved, so he just left them to their own devices. So Project Swingby was like, how did they get on? So it was a whole callback to this particular episode, which was quite fun. And let's see. So Admiral Buenamigo wanted Freeman to check in on the planet's government to double check that it's not run by children or some person masquerading as the devil.
Yeah.
2 references to old Trek episodes. TNG, Devil's Due. I actually remember this. The Enterprise visits the planet of Ventax 2, where an interstellar con artist is impersonating a devilish deity known as Ardra. This is a good part. In an effort to take over the planet, Picard reveals her trickery and saves the world from subjugation. And meanwhile, in the 1966 episode of the original TOS episode called Miri, Kirk and company find a planet ruled by children.
I remember that one, yes.
So considering Starfleet has encountered similar problems before, that's why Buenamigo was like, just double check on that. And then when Captain Freeman insists that the Ornarans are on the up and up, she makes one last suggestion to find a mission worthy of the FNN expose and recommends that they go back to Beta 3, as she thinks it's inevitable that the people there have fallen for Landru again.
Yes.
Another reference to the classic adventure, The Return of the Archons. And Landru, we believe, is still confined to the dungeons of Starfleet's, I don't know, evil
computer
whatever.
Right next to peanut hamper.
Peanut hamper. That's where peanut hamper's gone. Let's see. So there was a race of aliens. You'll love this. The Breen made their in-person debut in Star Trek Deep Space Nine's episode Indiscretion. And they would eventually go on to play a bigger role in the series Dominion War arc.
Yep.
As the Breen Confederacy allied themselves with the Dominion.
They sure did.
So this was the first time that the Breen have been seen since the Deep Space Nine finale, and gives us our first hint at what's become of them since the fall of the Dominion.
Oh yeah, they're on break.
Love that. Anyway, and at one point she even asks if their attitude toward her is a frame of mind. Sorry, this was back to Beckett Mariner, and she says she wonders if their attitude towards her is a frame of mind thing, and wonders if she'll wake up with a neural drain thing on her head, which is a nice little callback to the Next Generation Frame of Mind episode in season 6, where Commander Riker is abducted and wakes up in an alien hospital where no one believes that he's actually a Starfleet officer. In the end, he wakes up in a laboratory hooked up to an elaborate mind scanning machine where he finds a group of aliens probing his brain for secrets. So those were kind of the deep cut sort of references. Other than that, there wasn't anything visually other than the Breen that I saw.
Yeah, no. This was mostly about the idea of, like, you know, going back and checking on things that TNG and all those episodes did. So I like that concept. I do love the swing by mission. I don't think you should leave a world alone for 17 years that was full of drug addicts. But you know, so it goes.
Why did it swing by and not second contact?
Wasn't that so? This is like from season 2, right? That Captain Freeman was talking about this, and I think that episode might be called Second Contact.
Yeah, it was. You were correct.
I like the idea of swing by mission. Swing by mission.
Mm-hmm.
Swing by. We're just swinging by. Hey, we're just swinging by. What's up? Second Contact, though. Yeah. You know what we forgot to mention in chat is we talk about the Texas class.
Oh yeah.
Of the episodes that they get these automated ships, which we know is not a good idea.
Yes.
And doesn't last because we know of future times. So
that's true. Oh, that's interesting. That's a good point.
Right.
Yes. I wonder if there kind of isn't, supposed to be driverless Ubers.
Oh, there are. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Well, maybe it's a commentary on that. Who knows?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't like the. I don't think it will. I think what will happen is obviously if you've got a, that kind of class of vessel with all of these weapons on board, not being captained by anyone, there will be some alien race that will come and say, "I'm going to take that."
Exactly.
Like
take it over, and then they're in control, and then they can impersonate Starfleet.
Exactly.
It's going to be the backlets.
It's going wrong.
Yeah.
We're going to get wrong. I mean, it's got to be a ship that's built like a regular ship with consoles. So it's not like it's sort of a solid ship with no people spaces.
Right. As far as we know. It could have no people space.
It's true.
So it's super fast and maneuverable and stuff.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's a drone. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Shall we to quotable moments?
Indeed.
Quotable moments.
So now it's our job to check in on an entire planet that Picard left cold turkey. Captain Freeman.
Literally cold turkey because they were drug addicts.
They were drug addicts. And he had to just leave because he couldn't interfere. So he just cut off their drug supply and left.
What's interesting, though, is it's not like he never violated the Prime Directive.
Oh, a number of times.
So
every captain violates the Prime. They always talk about the Prime Directive, and they always go, sometimes you gotta
break it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
General Order 1.
Yeah.
As it was called back in the day. I also loved Mariner saying, let's go grab some synthahol and Syntha have a good time at the bar.
Oh, yes. I like that.
Very good. It's very good. You mentioned the frame of mind thing. Is this a frame of mind thing? Am I going to wake up with a neural drain in my head? And then Jennifer says, the only neural drain around here is you. It's pretty cruel.
Yes, that was mean.
Yeah, very mean. And then I also very much enjoyed the stupid people from Starbase 80. They give Mariner her uniform and like a sandwich pops out and they say, here's your uniform. It's one size fits some.
Oh, I like that. Oh, I think I got some elbow grease on that. And just like, yeah, that's what elbow grease is.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's not elbow grease.
Yeah. I was kind of excited to go to Starbase 80 and see how terrible it is. It's like
maybe one day
trying to hit a bat with a broom or something. Yeah, you got any quotes of your own?
No, I don't. I was busy focusing on finding the Easter eggs that were not super easy to find.
Man, you were at a concert. You're living your life. Come on. That's what I'm here to do. Write down all the dialogue from every episode like a complete loser so that I can one day write them on, I don't know. Why am I doing this?
Because it's fun.
It is fun. And sometimes I want to, I still remember that quote from the season 3 finale of Discovery. Oh, computer. That one I will probably get. If I ever get a tattoo, it'll be, oh, computer, show me where I came from, whatever it says. Ooh, maybe I should write a song. Anyway, nobody, anyone listening to this, shut up. That's my idea.
I don't think our listener base is that big or broad or diverse enough.
No, but there's a lot of musicians in it, and I don't want them stealing my idea.
Fair.
Well, actually, we can make it a contest. Maybe we should all write songs about
maybe.
Computer.
Oh, computer.
Oh, computer.
That's our homework for next week.
Oh no, not next week.
Finale.
Right. We should do that we have a long break between shows. Maybe there'll be a songwriting. Maybe I'll premiere some Trek songs.
You have homework to do. You've got, let's see, the next thing that's coming out is Picard. So you have the full 7 of 9 thing to write.
To make a full 7 of 9 thing. Guitar solos necessary.
You've got Who's Got a Crush on Crusher.
Oh God, yeah.
Don't forget, you have lots of work. There's Worf. Worf has to have. Is it? Come on.
I should probably write a song for each of the original crew. You're right.
Or if it's not a full song, I would settle for a sting.
A sting for everybody in the crew. Gotcha.
Yeah, go for it.
Good call. I'm actually going to write that down. And that's a very good call. TNG crew songs, and I'm going to stick it to my computer.
I can't wait. I love it when you create new songs for Star Trek.
It's coming.
And you still owe
I know.
Nana Visitor.
No one is more disappointed in me than me that I have not made a DS9 song yet.
I will find it to her by hook or by crook.
Really?
That will happen.
I'm disappointed in myself. I'm going to get on that as soon as I get back from Europe. Okay. Maybe that'll be my Christmas project. So, should we go to next time? I assume there's no news.
I don't have
what it's been. Yeah. Next time.
Next time on Set Phasers.
Next time on Set Phasers, Aki did his homework and we'll be talking about the season finale of season 3 of Star Trek Lower Decks, entitled, you ready for this, The Stars at Night. Heavy, right?
Calm.
Ooh, deep. Anyway, please just check that out. But also, if you like this episode and any other episodes of our show that you've heard, we have dozens counts of back episodes, having covered all the other sort of contemporary or concurrent franchises of Star Trek, Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks, Strange New Worlds, and we'll be taking them all on. So find us wherever you get your podcasts. And hey, if you're on Apple Podcasts, you feel free to rate us and smash the subscribe button. I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Well, it's fine. Subscribe, follow, whatever. Same thing.
Follow us.
It's free to follow us, and we like that, so go for it. Yes, and do join us again. And oh crap, what else am I supposed to say? I forgot.
Oh, this is
No, that's you. I say I'm Stevie Manns. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
no, that's later. You got to do the Patreon.
Don't forget to join us on Patreon. At patreon.com/setphasers for more nerdiness with your two best friends, Stevie and Aki.
Yes, and also we're on social media at Set Phasers Podcast. Oh, remember the thing you told me last week that people can leave voicemails if they want. I don't know how that works, but it's possible.
Setphasers.com.
You go to the setphaserspodcast.com.
Yes.
Yeah. And you can leave a voicemail, and maybe we'll play that on the air.
I may have forgotten to check that this week, so I shall do that for next time. Yes, well, until next time. In fact, I am Stevie Manns.
And I have perfected dislocating my jaw. And this has been Set Phasers, a highly illogical Star Trek podcast.
Computer. There you are. End program.
Computer, where you at?